Hi BookTube, it's Amy, and today I have here one of my final purchases of the 2023 calendar year that arrived. And this is a good news bookseller story. This is one of the best book selling experiences I've ever had. But I'll show you the book first. So it's from 1936, and look at that dust jacket. That dust jacket is in absolutely beautiful condition. It was listed on Abe as being very good, and I would say it's in very good condition, especially for 1936. So that's pretty cool. Published by Houghton Mifflin and Company, Boston and New York, the Riverside Press, Cambridge. It's a collection of essays. The Silencing of Laughter, Before Laughter Was Pursued, The Merry Monarch, Humorous Hogarth, The Stage and the Pulpit, The Laugh That Failed, The House of Laughter, The Price of Laughter, and the 20th Century. And it looks like there was a quote by Chesterton to start that chapter. But this should be great. I'm assuming it's sort of along the lines of her book, To Think of Tea, which is sort of where I've gotten my channel name from. Instead of To Think of Tea, it's To Think of Books, after Agnes Ruplier's book on tea. But this is one on the subject of laughter. But I'm trying to position this in such a way as there's not a glare. And I just realized you're seeing my running shoes out of the corner there. But I had an absolutely wonderful experience with this bookseller. So I purchased this from Sky Island Books and Broadsides in Virginia, USA. And the listing had a very low shipping price, $6. And on the description for his shop, it said that he offered, free US shipping. And so that $6, I think, would normally be refunded to customers living in the United States, or something along those lines. Or maybe they wouldn't even see the $6 at all. Maybe it's because I was in Canada, I saw the $6. But seeing such a low price, I knew immediately that $6 was not going to be sufficient. Now, sometimes when I order a book on Abe, the US bookseller will eat the cost of shipping. That's about half the time. The other half of the time, and this is usually if it's, a reputable, established, independent, used bookseller, antiquarian bookseller, they will choose the option to request additional charges. And I am very used to getting a request for additional charges. I would say typically to ship a book of this size and weight to Canada, I'm expecting anywhere between 15 to 25 US dollars, sometimes up to 30 US dollars, depending on how heavy the book is. And so I was expecting that. But it turns out the owner of this shop, Holmes Brown, is an older gentleman, and he doesn't quite understand all the mechanics of Abe, which is fair enough. I've never seen the other side of it. I only see the purchaser side. But he was unsure how to request additional charges. Well, I should say, first of all, he sent me a very polite email. My order was not accepted by the shop, and about 48 hours after I had placed it, I got this absolutely delightful email from Holmes Brown, and he was just letting me know that he was unfortunately going to need to cancel my order because he had been all over town and he couldn't find anyone who would ship this book to Canada for the price of $6. And I responded, letting him know that I was very used to U.S. booksellers underestimating the cost of shipping to Canada, and that I was happy to accept additional charges so long as they were under 30 US dollars, because that's what I'm used to paying. And he responded that, okay, he would be very, very pleased to send me the book. He just had to figure out how the system worked to request additional charges. And so he had reached out to Abe, looking for assistance. I couldn't provide assistance because, once again, I don't know what the seller side of things look like. But so much time went by that Abe's system automatically canceled the order because it hadn't been accepted. And so he eventually did figure out how to request additional charges, but we had to wait for the listing to go live again. So we had some delightful, back and forth emails. He told me about seeing the Detroit Red Wings play hockey for $6 a ticket. I can't imagine $6 a ticket. He said that was showing his age, and I didn't ask his age, but that must have been decades and decades ago to see a hockey game for $6. But eventually we figured it out, and I accepted the additional charges, and he shipped the book to me, and he sent me another delightful, polite email asking me to let him know when it arrives, and telling me that he thought I'd be very pleased with the quality of the book. And I am very pleased with the quality of the book. And so the next thing I need to do is send him a nice email letting him know that it's arrived. And I would really love to order from Sky Island Books and Broadsides again. But I'm afraid of being an inconvenience to this bookseller. If I did, I would certainly email him ahead of time, letting him know that I'm about to purchase something from him and that I would be perfectly all right with accepting additional shipping charges. But that's my good news, good bookseller story of the day. Goodness. I think I need to set this phone down and get myself some dinner, because clearly I've not eaten in several hours.